Hello, folks, and welcome to another episode. Well, as you will no doubt have noticed, I have somebody joining me again today. This is Millie. Some of you may have met her on a previous episode, and she often joins me on my chair. So, Millie will be joining us today. Moving on with today's episode. For those of you who joined us last week, you might recall that we talked about the concern of the escalating levels of chronic inflammatory skin conditions, bowel conditions, and escalating levels of cancer. And we talked about the concerns about the commercial pelleted pet food and the potential causal links between these conditions and this pet food. Now, today we want to talk more about a safer alternative for you to consider with your for your pets, and in terms of a commercial pet food that approaches the closest to what nature designed for pets, the closest that I personally have come across is the Vondi's brand. And the reason that I personally endorse it is that firstly, they provide a safe food, and of course this is always something that we want to ensure is met with our food, and it is cooked to 72 degrees centigrade to ensure that the food is safe and there is no food poisoning. In addition to meeting safety requirements, Vondi's meets the all-important quality expectations. Firstly, we talked so much last week about the concerns about chemicals and preservatives and carcinogens included in some of these commercial pet foods. Well, Vondi's is across the board preservative free, digestive free, and certainly ethoxyquin free. And so right there it is infinitely closer to the way nature intended. In addition, the meat is from a reputable source, and invariably from free-range sources of meat, and not the 4D meat that we referred to in last week's episode. Added to this, there are high-quality pulses such as long grain brown rice, split peas, etc. Crucially, they are GMO free. Another thing that is of utmost importance because of the ongoing studies that point to the causal link between GMO and rising incidence of cancer and other diseases. In addition to that, there is good quality cold pressed olive oil that is added to the food to ensure that the good quality essential fatty acids exist in the food rather than rendered fats that is so often the case in commercial pet foods. So right there we have a good quality meat. We have greens and other vegetables and herbs that are added to the food, and Vondi's also offers a special range for those owners with pets that have chronic skin conditions, chronic inflammatory conditions that include the cooling herbs that will also assist in soothing those symptoms and resolving the chronic inflammatory skin and gut conditions. So really, again, endorse the Vondi's food because it is so much closer to the way nature intended, without all the adverse toxins and chemicals that unfortunately are all too often finding their way into the modern pet food chain. I hope you found that helpful. Please send us your questions. If you still have questions with pets who have these chronic conditions, we would love to help you more. Have an amazing week with your pets, and we look forward to sharing more with you next week and in the weeks ahead. So join us soon. I'm Dr. Janey. Goodbye for now.